Yeah, maybe I'll start with what is EVOX, the tech behind it. So there's two components. The first is something called voice mapping. What we're doing with voice mapping is as the client is talking, I can actually measure tones in their voice that correlate to specific emotions. So we get a graph of what emotions are imbalanced and in what intensity: extreme imbalance, high, medium, or low. The second part of EVOX is the biofeedback or the frequency output. So once we've identified those imbalanced emotions, we are outputting into the body frequencies that help support the balancing and the release of those emotions. So the shortest way I could answer this is no, I don't need your full life story. I don't need all the trauma. I don't need us to relive the trauma to get the work started. In fact, I actually purposely don't like to start there. Where I start is a client comes in and I really want to understand. This comes back to the patterns. What are you noticing? Why are you here? How do you hope this can be supportive? You're here because there's something you're experiencing that you don't want to. That is usually enough to get me started to know, okay, here's a couple places we need to go right away. At some point, we are trying to get into, here's the pattern I'm experiencing. Maybe it's every time my husband and I start to get emotionally close, I do something to put up a wall again. What is that about? Great. That's all I need to get us started.
Okay.
But the work is really starting to go, what is going on deeper in the unconscious that is contributing to this pattern? And ultimately, where did that originate from? So at some point, we're getting into childhood, we're getting into generational influences or inheritance, but it's very gentle and it's never about just reliving trauma. I also find that in this work, the unconscious is so wise. It doesn't bring things up unless it feels safe to do so. So it is common that sometimes seemingly random memories, emotions, imagery surfaces during sessions, but I'm never here saying, okay, we need to go think about this thing. I'm giving certain questions and prompts that are a little more broad, and I'm letting the unconscious, your psyche, lead us to where it needs to go, to where it feels safe.